Hmm. Hey everybody, this is LVO Tour, the Fancy Action Now. It's me and the Revenant here to do a top 10 PS4 collection video. So we did the entire collection on Easter Sunday, and that was a great video. I had a lot of time. Yeah, I'm calling my own video great. I rewatched it, and I thought it was great, but it was just fun to make. It's fun to have it all out. It's fun to make it. It's fun to like kind of relive some of your fun with some of these very entertaining games. There's some really cool stuff in here. I mean, 7 Deadly Sins. I mean, there's all kinds of really cool stuff here. So this is a fun collection. I really enjoyed putting it together for you. Because I had the Doom Collector's Edition, I went ahead and I went into my closet, and I'm like, I know I got the Revenant in here somewhere. And if you can't see, he's got like a fan that's a red light LED and a fan underneath him. So he puts out like a really cool shadow. Like when you have it in darkness, that red light is just kind of like blinking up on him. And it's just a great collector's edition statue. The detail level is amazing. It is just gorgeous. I love it. My daughter was scared of it when she was little. I think, I don't know, I think she was in the double digits, but the low double digits, like 10. And she really didn't like it. It really gave her the creeps. And she says, Daddy, at that point it was Daddy, please, I don't like that. Please put it away. Please put that somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, honey, I will absolutely do that. So I put it in my closet, the very top of my closet, and I have a like a custom shoe rack that goes all the way up to the ceiling, and I put it on top of that, where it could not be seen even accidentally by anyone. So anyway, but my daughter is now almost 15 years old, so I guess we'll bring it back out and we'll have it here in the studio. But I love Revenant. That is absolutely just, look at that. Would you just look at that thing on camera right now? That just looks great. It just looks great. So, anyway, I'm in a pretty decent mood today. And I did a video about loot boxes. A lot of information has come out. A lot of studies have been done that show loot boxes are gambling. And of course, we know that that's true. And we know that some of these business practices are predatory, child predatory. So, a lot of companies don't want to hear that, and they know it. They know they're generating money off the backs of working parents and just, awful. And people with gambling addictions. Hey, you know who's easy to manipulate into spending money? People with gambling problems. Let's do that. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But anyway, this video is about a PS4 Top 10. I thought I'd do a Top 10. I got the whole collection out of there. I didn't really do a Top 10 with Xbox. I don't think I will, but with Xbox One. Because Xbox One is more a multi-plat system. It just is. I mean, there's some things in there that are a little bit nichey, but it's like they're few and far between. I mean, it is a big title, multi-plat system. Because that's what you have to be when that's when you have that kind of install base. You have to go with what's a win and what people are gonna actually buy. So you don't have the room with the massive install base that the PS4 had. You say whatever you want. PS4 destroyed this last generation. So again, it's end of gen, and as we transition from the last gen to the new gen, we're in that cusp. We're in that cusp period where all these people that bought these systems and spent all this money are sitting there with no games to play, and they're just playing their PS4 games on an upscale. Which, okay, that's fine, but there's just nothing out there that's really a compelling reason to buy the system. That's typically why I wait until, again, if you wait a little while on the new systems, the price drops. Sometimes they fix technical issues in the system. Sometimes they come out with sales, like especially in summertime, they're going to have inventory come in for summer, and they will sometimes you'll only save $50. Well, hey, $50 is a game or two, or at least one brand new AAA game, it's almost $50, and they're like 70, 60, 70 now. But it's a game. It's almost a game. So you might save almost a game, or you might save enough to get the second controller or some other peripheral that you want, right? And then sometimes they come out with limited editions that are either the same price or sometimes cheaper than the first release console. So you're getting a little bit of a collectible edition, something that's a little bit more interesting on the shelf. It's something like that. So I tend to be not the guy to buy the next gen like right out of the gate. I'm just not that guy. It's like I'm a great believer in not training people and companies that you can have my money anytime you want just because you dump a piece of electronics on the marketplace. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to get a little bit of a better deal, and I'm going to do a little shopping around, and I'm going to continue to enjoy what I already enjoy. Part of me thinks that that's why they're closing the PlayStation stores down too, because for very little money you can go and download something and on an older system, and they're just like, look, we're not making. See, again, what they don't want to say, the silent thing that they're not saying is, we're not selling systems over that game. They're playing on our old hardware. We're not getting paid for that. They're not buying a system to play that. That's literally how they think. That's why they're doing that. They're just like, well, we have all these archive games that somebody that's been hanging on to our old hardware for, a decade can go out there, download these games, play them, download them at a tiny fraction of the original retail. We're getting a little bit out of it, but again, they can play and enjoy these games when we got new hardware that's released. They're doing that to create demand for new hardware. Again, if you shut down the old hardware and you stop supporting that gaming, then they're like, well, what about the new hardware? Let's have a look at that. Really, you're driving people because you're cannibalizing your own marketplace. That's the way they think about it. They're like, we're cannibalizing by allowing these games to be easy and cheap and accessible. We're cannibalizing our customer base, and we're actually keeping them from buying the new hardware. I'm telling you, that's how they think about it. So, but anyway, this is a top 10 for my PS4. Now, a lot of times I go for games that are niche-y. Unfortunately for this PS4 collection, there are some that are like that, but based on hours played, I have to come correct, and I have to admit this is the stuff that I put hours into, and these are big games. These are just these aren't niche-y cool games that you're not going to see on IGN. You're going to see a lot of these games on a lot of top 10s for PS4. And I really don't know what to do about that, because I went through it and I'm like, well, I could not have this and have this one, but it would be disingenuous. So I didn't want to do that. So my first one is this bad boy here, Wolfenstein 2, the steel case. You saw it yesterday. So it is absolutely a wonderful game. It is beautiful. I've played it through a couple of times. I love the collector's edition. It is gorge. It is red and bold and beautiful, and it's just amazing. So the new Colossus, I played quite a bit of this, enjoyed it quite well. I thought the first one was far better. Not far better, but I wouldn't say it's far better, because they play very similarly. The story is interesting. The characters are interesting. They're kind of extreme characters. They're characters that are like very far into one spectrum or the other. So it's interesting, but they're almost caricatures. They're not characters. They're caricatures. They're almost archetypes, like extreme archetypes. And so it kind of pulls me out of the reality of this thing, and it becomes more of a kind of an avant-garde or a comedy. Like it's more, instead of being as serious, it has serious moments to it, but like the cutscenes are like kind of a goofy TV comedy. situational comedy. I mean, it's strange. It's a strange mix, but it's it's not something that I was like, oh, I don't like. I liked it. I liked it, but it just struck a weird chord. And sometimes that's what you're looking for. For me, it was just always kind of a little bit of disassociated from itself. It's like we have this serious, backdrop, occupied America, and this ragtag resistance, and then you have all of these weird weird segues. I mean, all the people involved are quite diverse, but they never seem like a cohesive group. It's just like, that's all I have to say. It's just like somebody cast a sitcom. It's like, okay, we want you to cast an alternate America sitcom where, the Nazis have taken over and you're a ragtag group. And we're just going to pick extreme characters to throw together in a room because it has entertainment value. Like it's not story building. It's just because it's wacky. You know what I mean? that's kind of what I get from this. So, but a very unique game, very unique approach. So I appreciate it, and visually it's stunning. Gameplay is excellent. The whole wheelchair thing, I'm like, wow, that's different. I'm like, and you get points for being different. You get points from being different, and it almost again. It's quite woke, but it's like, okay, it puts you in a wheelchair for the first level and having to navigate and fight Nazis in a wheelchair. And I'm like, it's just weird, It really starts to diverge from what I would consider a Wolfenstein game. It's like, you're supposedly this badass soldier and that inspires terror in the Nazis, and it's just like, it's just strange. BJ became a very sensitive, emotional character. Again, the first one didn't go down that road that far. I mean, there was emotion there. There was kind of more of a stoic guy who's seen like the horrors of war. But anyway, I'll quit ranting on this game, but it's just, there's just so much going on there. Again, it's a political game. It's almost a propaganda game. Overtly and covertly, it's a propaganda game. And so just that on its own makes it intriguing. So Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Collector's Edition, fantastic. All right, a game that knows exactly who and what it is, and it is at the top of its game. I don't know if the level of excellence will ever be exceeded. Doom Eternal is not better than this game. This game is far truer. I'm going to say better, but it is truer to the original game. And I'm a massive fan of Doom. I have played every single game on almost every platform available and many, many, many hundreds of hours. So yeah, you could say I'm a diehard fan. In this game, I was very concerned about the level of excellence that were they going to take it seriously? And they most certainly did. They distilled the essence of the original game and put it into this modern day shell. And it is absolutely amazing. So I can't say enough about this game. I love it. Love it. All right. Again, that's not exactly a sleeper hit. Killzone Shadowfall, probably one of the best games on the system. It is the most beautiful tech demo on the PS4. If you want to see what the PS4 can do, I think this is one of the best games that shows that illustrates exactly how beautiful it can be when it wants to be, when it's programmed for and programmed right, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Again, there are editing flaws in this game. There are continuity and smoothness and transition problems as far as the visual transit. It's just abrupt. It's shocking. It's like almost makes you jump how abrupt the transitions are in this game, and that's a serious flaw. And honestly, it should be patched because this game is definitely worth it. There's probably not the financial motivation to do it, but it is an amazing, beautiful game. I totally highly recommend it. It's not breaking any ground in terms of story, but I kind of like the idea of that East-West Germany kind of thing where, we've refugeed these people, we've defeated them, and now we have to accept them as refugees, and now we have to give them a home and accept their culture, and that culture is to dominate and to take revenge. We wind up reaping what we have sown in this regard when we could have sought another solution. So there is that political element to it. And what is the future cost of conflict? What is the future cost of victory? Because just because you're a victor, guess what? If you're the victor, now you're the responsible party. You are standing on the moral high ground, and unless you want to be dragged down into your own mud, how do you continually to keep that moral high ground and that history of revisionism and dealing with refugees? And again, unless you exterminate the entire race, which is again loses the moral high ground, now you're responsible for these people. And they don't like you. They fucking despise you. So what do you do about that? We live in a world where that's a reality in a lot of places. So, and the United States deals with a lot of that. So, and other countries too. But what is the true price of victory? After the war is won, the real costs come into play. So, Killzone Shadowfall, fantastic. Blaze Blue Central Fiction. Wow, Blaze Blue is, it kind of went from a niche anime fighter to a mainstream must-have. You've got Guilty Gear, you've got Injustice, but Blaze Blue Central Fiction, that is I think that all of those games are must-owns. But the roster, the style, the aesthetic, Central Fiction is kind of the culmination of the previous Blaze Blue games. And it is just such an amazing game. I absolutely had to get it. And I'm so glad I did. So I'm going to put it on my top 10. Blaze Blue. It's the only fighter on my top 10. I didn't put Guilty Gear on here. I didn't put Injustice. I put Blaze Blue Central Fiction. And I'm okay with that. You got to pick one, huh? So, excuse me. Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon is a special game. It's been imitated, and it has characteristics of a lot of different games. But this is what edition is that? I can't even read that. It's so dark. It is Ancestral Edition. So this game is something special. Darkest Dungeon. I did purchase it new. It didn't come with a sleeve or anything like that. It does have a reversible cover with a map on it and such. But Darkest Dungeon is a strategy, side-scrolling, depressing, dark, ugly, hopeless, and it's Lovecraftian, and it's absolutely delicious. So when you really want that dour, dark, but addictive, oh my God, is it addictive. Oh my God, is it addictive. The creatures are absolutely horrible and terrifying. You explore, you loot, you try to grow your characters. Inevitably, you will lose them. You'll go too far into the dungeon. It's one of those where you're like, I should go a little bit further. I should go a little bit further. And then you wind up getting yourself into serious trouble and losing characters or losing in general. But a lot of times you'll limp away with like one or two characters left. And then you have to fight your way out. You have to get out. It's a special game. I definitely encourage you to buy it. It is a dark and somber atmosphere. But the atmosphere of this game is what's special about it. That's the uniqueness. The town is just this wreck of a town. And it grows and it develops. Like everything grows and develops like the inevitable nature that it emulates. But it's just dismal. It's just, I don't know how to put it. It's just this dismal atmosphere. You have to deal with mental health. You have to kind of guess like, okay, this person, you have to look at their profile, and there is a profile. Like, you have a complete profile of the individuals that you... And again, that's a detail level that is kind of underestimated in this game. Every single team character has, like, you know, tendencies and psychological tendencies and beliefs, and you know, sometimes they'll flee in battle, sometimes they'll run to the back. And, you know, if you put them up front and they're not courageous, they'll run to the back, and they'll screw up your rotation. And, you know, it's like sometimes they'll abandon the party. You know, again, if you don't treat their mental health problems, then they are unreliable in battle the next time you see them. But you have to expend resources. You have to spend money to take care of their mental health, or to send them to the brothel, or to let them drink. But then if you let them drink too much, they become alcoholics, and then you have to send them to a sanitarium to let them dry out. And I mean, it deals with the ugly underbelly of humanity. It is very realistic in that regard. So I don't know how to express it. It has an atmosphere that I have never found in any other game. So I highly recommend that you pick up Darkest Dungeon. It is a special game. You know, and if you like happy, cutesy Animal Crossing, you know, this is not for you. If you're a casual gamer, I don't know. It does have kind of a puzzle element to it in a way, but I don't know if it's for you. But I want you to take a chance on it. Darkest Dungeon cannot be that much money in this world. So Darkest Dungeon, it's just great. It's just great. I'm going to actually look up Darkest Dungeon right now. Yeah. God, I'm getting all these weird, like, spam comments from God knows where on my videos. And I'm like, is somebody sending me a message about about my videos? I mean, what's going on? All right. Well, actually, I'm going to try Amazon first. Let's see what I usually go. Sometimes Amazon really surprises me, where they're like right at eBay or even cheaper sometimes. I'm going to look up Darkest Dungeon in video games. Darkest Dungeon Collector's Edition on the Switch is $35. So if you have a Switch, and that's a great game to play mobile, like on the couch or in bed or something, that's awesome. $40 for the regular edition on PS4. The Japanese version is $82. That's crazy. So yeah. Darkest Dungeon Ancestral Edition, $34. So there you go, baby. I don't know if there's a collector's edition. Let's see if there's a collector's edition. I bet there is, but Collector's Edition? Booyah. Darkest Dungeon Collector's Edition PS4. It's the European version. So I don't know if they did a collector's version over here. But they do have one for the Switch, which is $34. It's a gorge game. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I don't know what the collector's edition comes with. Oh, it's used. That's funny. It's used, but what does it come with? It doesn't really tell you. It just tells you it's a collector's edition, but it doesn't tell you what you get. But anyway, so Darkest Dungeon, pick it up. Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. I'm a major Fist of the North Star fan. This is the most recent release of the Fist of the North Star game, and there are many going all the way back to the Master System and the NES. Usually they're imports. Last Battle for the Genesis is a Fist of the North Star game, and they've had some for the PS1, which are very good. You see, Fist of the North Star, or Hokuto no Ken, is taken very seriously in Japan. So the import versions of the PS1 game, the PS2 game, Fist of the North Star, there are many PS2 games, many Fist of the North Star game. The fighting game from Arc System Works is probably the most famous over here, and I own that. and it is one of the best fighting games ever made. It's fantastic. So, but Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise, there's so much content, so much to do. It is a beautiful game. It is a lovely playing game. It is awesome. I may stream this even today. So it is an outstanding a game with tons of content by Sega. One of the biggest licenses. This is like Dragon Ball Z. And I know Dragon Ball is huge in Japan, but this is like close to Dragon Ball Z and how big it is in Japan. It is extremely a major, major franchise over there. So I encourage you, if you have a PS4, you have the opportunity to own a domestic copy of this. Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. I totally recommend that you get this. It is an exceptional game. All right, a game that I featured yesterday, Red Out. This is the Lightspeed edition. If you like the sensation of speed, race faster than ever. This is the Lightspeed edition. You get some bonus vehicle in here. But Red Out is race faster than ever. It's all about the sensation of speed in this game. Again, as I said, it is an ode to Redline, the racing anime, and it's the name is a combination of Wipeout and Redline, or Red Out. So it is absolutely crazy fast. No, I don't have Wipeout. No, I don't have Omega Collection. I have Red Out. So in this case, this is the more nichier title that I went with, as opposed to Wipeout and the Omega Collection that everybody will put in their top tens. But this is definitely something that deserves your attention. And I do have gameplay on my channel of Red Out, and I may put some more on there. So hopefully to increase appreciation for this game. Baltimore Retro Gaming just hit my chat. Like lightning falling from the sky, Baltimore Retro Gaming, he just crashed in. And I'm going to have to steel myself, gird my loins, generate my intestinal fortitude, and take a look at what this man has to say. Always a challenge. Always. All right, let's see. I just got a PlayStation Move gun and some games yesterday. Nice! Sweet! Oh, you just got yourself a PlayStation Move gun, did you? Did you? Did you? All right. Just remember. I got this right over here, bruh. Going gangster style there. A little under the coat action. There you go. Okay. I think I speak for everybody, Baltimore Retro Gaming, that will watch this video, all 5 of you. What games you get? We want to know what the games are. All right, so until you put that in the chat, the next game, I probably have more hours in this game on the PS4 than any other game on the system. And I thought to myself, do I really want to put this in there? And I'm like, yeah, because you have the most time on PS4. PS4 was my system of choice for Fallout 4. And this is the Game of the Year edition. It's got all the schmarmy schmarm. It's got everything you want, baby. So Fallout 4, even though it was ugly, even though it looked like Skyrim and Fallout, the character models are ugly. The hair is ugly in that game. Have you seen the hair in Fallout 4? I mean, it's like PS3 hair. I mean, it's really bad. It's not, or PS2 hair. I mean, the hair in that game on Fallout 4, the character models are ugly as F. They're ugly AF. They just are. So, but that being said, I still think Fallout 4 was a great game. The one thing I did not like, and I know that people are going to get mad at me about this. You know how Fallout 3 had that green haze, and then some people even download mods to get rid of the haze? I like that look. that look like that sickly green, everything's got kind of that radioactive cast to it. That created part of the atmosphere for me. So like my favorite Fallout is Fallout 3. It still is to this day. I really enjoyed Fallout 4, but it was too cheerful. Like the weather was just excellent all the time. Unless you went to and that's why they created that radioactive sea, that, the radioactive sea where you could go and get that atmosphere. That's what I think the whole game should be. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, for the most part, even though the land looked a little blasted and the trees looked, rough and all that shit, it was like sunshiny with clear skies and blue skies and white puffy clouds and the sun shining. And I'm like, it's so fucking cheerful. It's cheerful, man. It just looked too nice everywhere. Now, there was garbage strewn and it had the look of dilapidation. But it was like sunny and people are farming in villages and things like that. And I'm like, okay, I mean, probably that's realistic after 200 years. And I'm glad that they included the radioactive sea. So I had some area that looked like a freshly blasted after nuclear war look to it. And I love the fact that there was that secret military base there. And I'm like, man, if you took that and expanded it about 50%, so that only half the game was like nice and the other half was like this radioactive blasted area with like secret military installations and Chinese sneak stations and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was, that was like, I got the most out of that radioactive area. I really did. I'm like, okay, this is Fallout, literally. Right? So a lot of the game was good. I enjoyed a lot of the game. I typically destroy the Institute because I played it through multiple times. I probably put more hours into Fallout 4 on the PlayStation 4 than any other game for the system. And I typically destroy the Institute because them supplanting people with duplicates is just creepy as hell, baby. I can't abide it. I mean, you're taking citizens and having their duplicates kill them and assume their identity, and you want to continue doing business on my planet? I mean, when you sit down and you're like, well, they have all the technology and everything's clean and new and they're trying to, improve society and shit like that. And that replicant shit is going to come back and bite you in the ass. See, we're all going to find that out in the future. The robots, the AI, that's going to come around and bite us in the ass. Everything we do comes around and bites us in the ass when we deviate from just normal human stuff. When we do normal human stuff, we're good. When we try to get all jumped up and be like, well, we're going to improve shit and we're going to do this and, we're going to change the DNA and, we're going to create these superfoods and we're going to combine a pig and a strawberry and we're going to make this pigberry and, that's all you need to eat all day. And it's just like, you start messing with crap like that and it just always bites us in the ass. So it's one of those things where, the Institute, just that one thing. You're creating duplicates, you're having them go and kill the actual person and citizen, and you're replacing them, and you're just basically infiltrating society with synthetic people. I just can't stomach that shit. So I always kill the Institute. I don't care. I'd rather deal with like Mr. Testosterone sheep jacket guy than the creepy Institute folk. I mean, Brotherhood of Steel, it's the testosterone group, bro. It's the butch boys of the Commonwealth. And I go that route because it's pure. It literally pure. The Institute is just about, manipulating humanity, and it's just disgusting and I can't abide it. I don't care how clean it is. I don't care how cool the tech is. And all that's going to come and bite you in the ass. I mean, freaking Super Mutants came out of that shit. Okay? And look at that shit. It's time to upgrade your software. I can't believe I'm getting a WinZip ad. Get the fuck out of here. Let me see. Okay. I got House of the Dead Overkill. It's not Overdrive. But I need Time Crisis Raising Storm. Please help me find it. Well, first of all, you can just buy Time Crisis Raising Storm. It is not that expensive. It is not that expensive. Let's go take a look. Please help me find it. First of all, House of the Dead Overkill. I want to play that right now. That shit is great. Okay, so Time Crisis. I couldn't remember that shit, but that collection is really good. Raising Storm. Yeah, PS3. It's 40. Yep, $40 all day long. I see like several auctions. $40 all day long. There's an Australian version for $15. But yeah, it's $40. $40. Totally worth it, man. You get three complete games in that one collection. Dead Storm Pirates. Oh, bro, I love Dead Storm Pirates. Okay, the last two games in my top 10 PS4 collection. Oni-Chanbara Z Chaos, the best version of this game ever produced. It is absolutely gorgeous fan service. It is absolutely over-the-top hilarious. It has crazy, ridiculous, bizarre, surreal, disgusting enemies. And it is totally, totally worth your time. I have the reverse cover up. There's one of the enemies that you have to fight. It is absolutely ridiculous. I highly encourage you to pick that up. Oni-Chanbara Z Chaos. It is absolutely literal chaos with bikini babes and samurai swords, baby. I mean, it's like House of the Dead Overkill. It's complete and total. You get to live Grindhouse. This shit is Grindhouse. I bet there's a freaking movie. I gotta look in Japan. I bet they have a film about Oni-Chanbara. I have to find that. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. All right, and the last game I'm gonna put on, it's one of my favorite series of all time. It is just good times, good fun, hilarity, awesomeness, it is delightfully overwhelming. Can I say that? This game is delightfully overwhelming. It is a wild ride. It is a roller coaster video game ride that's better than an actual roller coaster, and that is Earth Defense Force 5. This game is amazing. The frog enemy, they have these giant frog warriors that regenerate, so they show battle damage and blood and flesh blown off. They fall down and they start twitching and they regenerate their flesh and get back up and start attacking you. They'll grow limbs back, like if you blow a limb off and they fall down, they look dead. They'll look inert for a while, then they'll start twitching and they'll sprout another limb and then jump up and start attacking again, and they flank you. And I mean, that's just one little bit of this game. One little bit of this game. Earth Defense Force is absolutely ridiculous, and I love it. I have the reverse. I believe I have the reversible. Let me check. I don't think I have the reversible cover on. I do. I got the Chinese English version from Hong Kong, and man, this thing had to go through all kinds of customs and crap before I was able to get my hands on it. But, again, I suppose, and I don't know if they've come out with an American release yet. I was told that they did by BioArmor, that they were coming out with like a localized edition, And this is in English. It's the English-Chinese version. Earth Defense Force 5. Yes. Earth Defense Force 5. It has a different cover art. It is local to there is a local version, and it is $40. Another one that's $40. So it is absolutely ridiculous. It is the best $40 you will ever spend. Get yourself a copy of Earth Defense Force 5. I've got this unique cover art because I got the Chinese English version basically for Hong Kong. This is basically the Hong Kong version. I purchased it from somebody in Hong Kong. And it is absolutely amazing. I love it forever. It is one of my favorite games of all time. It is one of my favorite series of all time. And it is, this is one of the best versions. There are two versions. There are many games for the system all the way back to the PS2 in the Simple 2000 series. And I think it was like Monster Attack or something like that. The very first game was not called Earth Defense Force. The subsequent ones were. But it was a Simple 2000 game, and it started its life there. And the best versions of this game, this is a completely new game. It's not a remake. A lot of the games on the PlayStation 3 and on PS4 are remakes of the original 2017 that was on the 360. So on the Xbox 360, Earth Defense Force 2017 is what got me into it, and it's my favorite one that I can just pick up and play. This is my next favorite one. They really stand equal because this one is just as good and it's even more over the top than 2017. But I have a special place in my heart for Earth Defense Force 2017. Then they came out with Earth Defense Force 2025 on the PlayStation 3, which was a direct remake, and then they came out with 4.1 on both PS3 and the PS4. Again, just continuing that iteration of the game, and this is a completely new imagining of Earth Defense Force, and it is just amazing. So Earth Defense Force 5 gets my #1 pick on the PlayStation 4. God damn, this thing is good. I love it. And it is just campy, hilarious, fun with some of the most hilarious voice acting in video games. So that is my top 10 PS4. This is a lot of fun. I got 2 videos out already. That's pretty much it. I may be doing some live streaming a la Baltimore Retro Gaming. And on the PS4 because, I start talking about these games and I just instantly want to go and play half a dozen of them immediately. So Earth Defense Force 5 in particular, or House of the Dead Overkill. Man, should I live stream House of the Dead Overkill? I don't know, baby. I don't know if I got the balls for it. I think maybe I do. All right, this is LVA Toro, the Fancy Action Now. Thank you for Baltimore Retro Gaming for stopping in. I'm glad you got the move. I'm glad you're looking at the right games. Those are amazing. You're not going to find it anywhere else, so enjoy. LVA Toro, Fancy Action Now, PS4 Top 10, end of Gen. Talk to you soon. And peace out.